calling the matter of Peter Williams to court room 2.
I am not that legal name.
I've just asked you, Clark, to consolidate these matters. I'll give a little bit of an explanation about the matter before it proceeds. The accused is sitting behind me.
I am not the accused. Thank you.
His issue in relation to remand and things like that is he argued against the Commonwealth, basically the Commonwealth powers of the court, the powers that bind him to hold a licence and things of that nature. He doesn't recognise the name Peter Williams, but I've explained...
Not my property.
The court doesn't particularly care too much about the identity of the person, more that the person involved is the person who committed the crime.
Nor am I a person.
On that basis, he's happy to enter a plea to the charges
And I do not plea.
basically further in regards to his arguments himself. But he acknowledges that what the police say happened on those occasions is what happened, right?
So, Mr. Prosecutor, are you familiar with the case of McDonald in the county court, in the Supreme Court?
I'm not your Honour, no.
Well, it runs along those lines. But I think there's a more recent one. Which basically confirms it.
Not aware of the particular rule. What are you covered?
Well, basically that the arguments concerning the Pure Acts Application Act
Acts don't apply to me.
those arguments fall under those two headings.
Yes.
Are no good.
I think I actually
Put it in a very...
I may have read that case in relation to speed measuring devices and such. It's not quite of that nature. It's basically the accused has his own beliefs and basically states that the name of Peter Williams is provided to him by the Commonwealth. It's not a name that he's chosen. It's not a name that he wishes to be recognised by people that he resides under the natural law rather than the laws of the state, and doesn't.
Well, I think the Supreme Court has said that we're all subject to the rules of the state.
Yes, and I think perhaps the 8 days in themselves have given him that realisation now.
And those laws only apply to the legal name.
I'm not being very helpful.
Correct, Your Honour. The reason I put these forward these matters to you is just to explain the fact that he has spent 8 days in custody over what wouldn't necessarily be matters which someone would serve custodial sentence for.
How old are you, Mr. or Sir?
6'6". May I speak at this point?
Would you mind just giving us a couple more minutes?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just really thinking that
I need to confirm a few
at
things.
66, you're probably really not enjoying the cells as, or finding it as easy as somebody who might be 40 years younger than you.
Hasn't been a problem really.
So, what's happening with all of these in terms of so, just for the sake of convenience, mine probably more than yours, could I refer to you as Mr. Williams?
Rather not at this point, but I wish to say a few things, if I could, just to clarify what I
I won't
want.
be stopping you say that.
No, that's all right.
Well, would you mind me just asking you, look, There's 15 charges here. Have you seen what they are?
I have.
And,
And they only apply to the legal name.
I think the prosecutor has, in a roundabout way, indicated that you might be pleading guilty to this.
This is a consideration today, yes.
And how's that consideration progressed?
The thing I'm concerned with is, and the reason I'm doing this, is to, I was hoping you would have got hold of my paperwork, which was issued 2 or 3 weeks ago now. But obviously you haven't seen anything at this point, which will explain everything entirely of what I'm doing.
And, well, what does it say?
Well, I mean, there's pages and pages of literature there which I need to get you to look at to appreciate what's going on. It's a bit difficult, very hard for me to try and explain it all to you in one or 2 sentences.
Is this the paperwork that turned up that it had blood on it?
Sorry?
It had blood on it?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I can tell you there's no way that I'll be handling it.
Well, I know, because it's
And,
a contract.
Nothing about the contract, but purely by the reason of the fact that it's got blood on it. You would, in this day and age, everyone is very cautious about these things. And
That's
that's
okay.
justifiably so, because
It's just-
people have all sorts of bugs. I'm
Yes,
not saying you do,
no, fair enough.
but some
But I-
people do.
Yeah, well, the main
And
thing
people
is,
who frequent these places are probably more likely to have it than others.
perfectly healthy, my,
I'm sure, but it would, I'm surprised in some ways that you're not charged with some offence against the Court Security Act.
well, yeah, well, the point is, I'm trying to make here is the fraudulent nature of the birth certificate. That's where it's all stemmed from, this business of legal name. And that's all I'm trying to get around.
So why is the birth certificate original? Did your parents not give you a name or?
I did, but it was stolen. Identity stolen. And I don't know whether you're aware of this, but if you read the papers, it explains all. But the legal name is actually Crown copyright property, and I'm not to be using it. It says on the actual birth certificate not to be used for identification. And this is my problem. I don't want to commit fraud. This is why the whole thing is blown up with this fiasco.
These type of arguments that have all been argued before the highest court in Victoria,
Yeah.
well, I'm the second highest court, maybe you've got the Supreme Court, not the Court of Appeal, has been unsuccessful.
Yeah. Well, it's purely from my own perspective and my own judgment. But anyway, what I'm happy to do at this point is to accept the guilty, and all I wanted to do was get this in front of the court. That's the main issue. That's all I wanted to do, to make you aware of it, and I'm happy to move on. And if you could actually
A little more,
sorry?
a little more, thought about sending paperwork to the court, blood on it, would have been handy.
Well, that's something I consider to be my duty at this point, that's all, after what I've learned.
You see, you and I come from a different age demographic to where it wasn't a problem, but it is a problem now.
That's correct. That's why I'm going down this track.
So we have to turn our minds to the current state, don't we?
So they do. And that's why I'm doing this as far as the situation I'm in, of not wanting to commit frauds.
In the old, not in the old days, but in days gone by, people would appear under protest.
Protest and duress, which is basically
Well-
what I'm here too. I don't really want to be here, of course. Let me put it this way, I don't believe, I know it's a fact now, that this business with the Crown copyright is actually Crown business. And it's not mine, because that name I don't consider to be my property. And apparently the Crown has not given permission for me to use it. And this is the problem I've got with it. I have not received any correspondence from the Crown to say that I'm able to use that name. But, as I say, that's fine. I'm just making this point, and I'm happy to move on. I'm happy that the point's been made.
I suppose, I mean, not that I want to give you any advice.
No, you can do it, sir.
I'm not giving you any advice, but I mean, if you want to test this point, you can take it to a court that.
Yeah, sure.
But that's for one thing. But the other is that there's a charge here for possession of a weapon without exemption or approval.
Right to a sword, Your Honour.
File the store category A, B, long arm correctly.
So that relates to a 22 calibre rifle, which was registered to the accused, but stored in his van that he was residing in at the time.
So, how stored in the van?
Just next to the mattress in the back of the van, Your Honour.
So it's a van.
And a little box here at the
Yeah.
top.
Was he in the van at the time?
Yes, Your Honour. This isn't a carrying dangerously, as we've had previously, Your Honour. This is just a failure to store in accordance with the requirements. Had no residence at the time, and the firearm was just being carried permanently in the vehicle.
Surely for hunting purposes, of course, but that's consideration.
Yeah.
So my plan was to do camping trips, if you like. I'm set up to do all that, and that's part of my plan to go do a bit of hunting for myself for food, basically. And a bit of a sport, if you like.
Just have a seat, we'll hear what the summaries are.
Yeah.
You indicated, you know what all the charges are, all 15?
I'm well aware of all the charges here.
You know, we draw charge one of 50 identification. And they were Cronk is the informant. Friday, 3rd of October, approximately 3 to 4 p.m. Police attended the Nicholson Street, the Alvin car park, Nicholson Street, Bairnsdale. 4:33 p.m. they observed the accused leaving his vehicle and intercepting in Francis Street. Number plates attached to the van were false and bore the letters nobody. Police approached the driver with the accused, had a conversation in order to get his driver's licence details. The accused refused to state his name, simply stating that he was a nobody. His name was nobody. He was advised to require to produce his licence and provide his name and address to police upon request. so he still failed to comply. He was arrested for that. He was searched at the Bendigo Police Station. Search of his vehicle was conducted, which located some ID in the name of the accused Peter Williams. The accused told police he was living in his vehicle at the time. At the police station, put to the accused that he was Peter Williams, however he continued to deny that name.
Or not admitted.
Correct, John. Not agree that he is that person, or that he uses that name. He was vehicle was unregistered. His licence was not current at the time, Your Honour. Checks revealed that he was on bail for similar offences and he was remanded in custody. That's the summary of the contents. Matter where McCallum is the informant. 24th of September this year, 7:40 PM, police intercepted a white Hiace van with attached registration plates stating "Nobody Here," which were not fixed in accordance with the regulations. The accused was the driver. He failed to provide any identification or state his name and address when required. Police attended this, other police sergeant attended the scene and requested the accused provide his details. He again refused to provide details and was arrested by police for the purpose of confirming his identity. He was conveyed to the Bendigo Police Station where his identity was ascertained. Required to build his licence.
Fraudulently, I might add.
11th of June this year. The vehicle was unregistered as of the 10th of July 2011. He was released pending summons in relation to that matter. And in relation to the matter where Kel is the informant. 21st of August this year, the accused was sitting in the driver's seat of his vehicle on Mitchell Port Road in Bairstow. The vehicle was a white Hiace van, which was unregistered at the time. It was displaying Victorian registration plates ZGG530, which were registered to a yellow Holden Rodan utility. Police approached the vehicle and spoke to the accused, who refused to provide his name and address. He was arrested and his vehicle searched and located ID in the name of Peter Williams. He again denied that he was that person or used that name. Checks revealed that there was a licence, held a firearms licence. He was asked if there was any firearms in the vehicle. He informed police there was one in the back of the van. Police searched and located a fully-controlled rifle unsecured next to the mattress in the back of the van, along with ammunition and a long-bladed sword. These items were seized. He was unable to provide a firearms licence at the time, but was a holder of a current firearms licence. He was conveyed to the Bendigo Police Station. His identity was ascertained, and he was released on bail, having been brought before a bail justice. He was asked why he had the firearm in the vehicle. He stated it was going to be used for target practice at some time in the near future. He was asked about the sword, and he stated, "I don't own it. I don't own anything, to be honest. Truth to be known." In relation to the vehicle, he stated simply that it's mine and private property, now it's unregistered. Registration of all property of the Crown, including a birth certificate or names if you like. That's the summary of it.
Anything alleged?
Nothing alleged, sir.
I just might add to that, all the wording on those documents too is not very accurate at all.
But generally you agree.
To a certain point, but look, the thing I'm trying to get around here is all legal documents and the wording thereon aimed at the Crown copyright name are all fraud, and this is why I can't accept the wording as it is, because I am Phoenician, I'm studying Phoenician, and I believe that the English language and the English grammar and the English dictionaries are all constructed to confuse people again, and to be a way of a means of communication, which is fair enough. But to me, using Phoenician, all these words have no relevance or meaning, and I would urge to have the documents represented with definite definitions of each word for me to be able to interpret them as they appear, because that interpretation is completely
So the police documents?
any legal documents. That's what I'm talking about. I just can't interpret the way that you do, Tony.
So, if that was to be done,
Hmm.
and the prosecution, because we all have a right to know and understand the cases.
That's
all
right.
against us.
That's correct. That's correct.
Please move on to my second video of this case and just enjoy. Thanks.
What would happen